Kinsey and I decided to take a walk. Probably about 7 o'clock last night. Mm-hmm. And we were going to walk over to her sister's house so we could take Kaysen over there. And as we're getting to...
How far is that?
It's probably half a mile.
Okay.
Not too far, a couple blocks away. And as we're getting to her street, we see two girls running towards us. And I'm like, and I know these two girls are Kinsey's sister's neighbors.
Then I thought somebody was barbecuing.
And they weren't wearing running shoes.
They were
wearing,
jogging.
They were wearing sandals, and they were jogging towards us. And as soon as they saw us, they ran straight to me, and they said, "There's a creeper outside of Kelly's house."
I said, "Oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire."
And I said, "What?" And they said, "Yeah, there was this guy who was on our porch, and he was looking inside our windows.
What?
And then he walked away from our house, got into his car, drove up 20 feet,
Whoa.
and stopped in front of your sister's house." And so I said, "Oh, is he still there?" And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay." So we started walking around the corner. And meanwhile, this is what was happening as they were telling me this. Apparently, from what Kinsey's sister says, the guy got out of his car, started walking towards her door, really quietly and trying to look inside the windows. And I guess
Ain't nobody got time for that.
she was eating on...
You make it so hard for somebody to get through a story. Stop it.
Hardly played any clips.
It has nothing to do with the story.
So she was sitting on the table eating some dinner, and I guess he saw her. And so I guess she looked over and saw this guy.
She
and
saw
I guess
him.
as he was turning around very carefully and walked back to his car. And so he got back in his car, and I guess he was just sitting in his car looking at the house.
Wow.
Okay.
Which is very creepy.
He's a peeper creeper.
So by this time, we're rounding the corner with the girls and Kaysen and Kinsey, and I say, "Well, I should go ask him what he's doing, I guess." And so Kinsey said, "Yeah." So as soon as I start walking over there,
You walked over there.
I started walking towards him.
Then I ran out. I didn't grab no shoes or nothing, Jesus.
His brake lights turned off.
Turned
and then
off.
Yeah, he let go of the brake.
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh, he's about to try to take off." Then they come back. Then he pressed on it again. So I started jogging towards his car, and that's when he peels out and takes off.
Okay.
So I start sprinting.
Not the end of the story.
No. So I start sprinting towards this car.
Is Kinsey just screaming at you?
Chasing
No,
the car is
she said
necessary.
get the license plate at
Yeah.
least. And so I'm chasing this car. Straight ahead is a main street. He could have gone on the main street and lost it completely, and he would have been gone. But instead, he made the second left into another neighborhood. So
You're able to cut him off.
So I figured I'll take this first left, try to cut him off,
And there he is.
just in case I don't see him. So I go all the way around that block. I don't see this car. I figured he must have made the second right, gone on the main street. He's gone. So I'm walking back towards Kelly's house, and I'm walking past this alley, and I look to my right.
There he is.
And there's the car right there.
In the alley.
And so
He's got his engine revving, and he's looking at you, and you're looking at him.
He's not.
Then
No,
I thought somebody was barbecuing.
he's facing away from me, so he turned. So he's faced away from me, and so I got goosebumps. Like I said, okay, I'm in an alley. There's nobody around. I don't know what this guy's got. So
Why they call them goosebumps?
So I don't know. So I
I said,
start.
"Oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire."
Seriously.
Go ahead.
This has nothing to do with a fire at all. This has nothing to do with a dang fire.
Beyond aggravating.
I'm not going to finish the
Hey,
story.
like a
I would not finish the
news
story.
story.
I would not finish the
I
story
am
in
not
protest.
finishing
How do you know they weren't barbecue?
Don't
I'm
finish
not
it.
finishing this dang
Don't.
story.
A 3-month-old news story. It's not even new clips.
Shannon, can you handcuff
I
kids?
said, "Oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire."
Good. Can I talk? Can I talk, Craddock?
Go ahead. Yeah.
So I start walking towards this guy's car. I see you over there with your little hands.
Come on,
Dude,
Jason.
it's not funny. Stop it. It's really
I've
not.
lost interest in all of it.
I'm listening. Go.
Nobody cares anymore.
I totally care. This is great story. Finish it up. So you see him again.
So as I'm walking towards him, we make eye contact on the rearview mirror. Mm-hmm. And so I stop. He's sitting there in his car. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to keep walking because I still can't really see the numbers very well on the license plate. And as I'm walking, I see this rock. And I said, just in case I need this, just to get just to distract him if he does have a weapon or something, I pick up the rock. And as soon as I bent over to pick up the rock,
He took off.
starts peeling out. So I jog after him. And I got enough of the license plate to where I remembered it. So now I'm sitting there repeating the license plate over and over in my head, and I have to walk around the block. And by this time, the cops are showing up. So 2 cop cars show up. They said, "Where'd he go?" He went this way. I told them the license plate number, and they just took off.
You're so dumb.
Hopefully they'll get in contact with you and let you know what happened.
Yeah, and I don't know if I remembered it correctly because it was
Oh man.
because my adrenaline.
Let me
was
look it
going.
up on that service I have.
Because I would have to call Kinsey and see if we could get it from her. 'Cause
Yeah.
she wrote it down.
Okay.
But I don't know if I said it right, but the guy got away, of course, because the
Yeah.
cops were already there. And this guy, me running, this guy in a car.
In all seriousness, you know, that guy's at least he's weird.
He's
right?
weird.
And
at
you
least.
have put the police onto him where they can actually have reason to talk to him.
Right.
And who knows what you may be avoiding, what you may be preventing in the future.
Well, and then there's another lady that lives on their block that came out because she saw me chase after this car. And so she came out, and she's the one that actually called the cops. And she said that the guy had gone to her house, knocked on her door,
Wow.
and threatened her.
And threatened her.
So
And
he's just a crazy man
so he's just
running
a
around
crazy
randomly?
dude. Yeah, and he's just going up to houses,
Wow,
and she said
scary.
he was peeking into her window, and I guess she saw him, so she went to the door.
We gonna find you. I'm letting you know now.
Kid Craddock in the morning.